Y'all saying, Lil Tay, why'd you drop the link for your 18th birthday? You don't need to ask dumbass questions.
Alright, so I already did a video talking about Lil Tay on my channel, and I've already read a clip from TMZ where they were basically announcing that she made over $1 million in under 3 hours after dropping her OF link. I did read a Twitter thread that I wanted to comment on, but just in case you don't go back and watch that original video, let me just loop that content in here. So just for a quick update, so this to the bottom right of the screen, you see a screenshot of her OF page, and she basically writes freshly 18. Kinda PDF-philic wording, but sure. She writes, please don't tell my mom, and has this little cute begging emoji with her fingers pointing together, that kind of, oh please appa, egg yolk kind of emoji, egg yolk style, kind of creepy. And then she writes, my 18th birthday exclusive shot at 12:01 a.m. So now my question is this, because she's been writing on, I went through her most recent TikTok videos, and as of approximately July 22nd, she has been commenting on whether or not she's going to drop a link, whether or not she's going to be making an OF account. And to me, I'm like, if that's your birthday coming up and that's your plan, why are you, while you're age 17, posting about how you're going to drop the link and basically soft launching and soft announcing the fact that you're about to drop this link? And even if there are people like, oh, well, it's her life, and oh, well, she did it, she shot these pictures at 12:01 a.m. She was 18 when she dropped these photos. Let's be so for real. Be so for real. If she shot these photos at 12:01 a.m., first of all, she had to have had a camera crew, had to have had some people in the room with her shooting content, or maybe she did do it herself. Maybe she did do it herself. Maybe she really was so excited for her 18th birthday and stayed up all night and decided to shoot corn at 12:01 a.m. I remember the photos I took of myself when I turned 18. I was fully clothed. wasn't making corn at 18. Still haven't made corn to this day, you know. But I guess my life is different, you know, my trajectory is different. I grew up in an environment where anything I said, anything I did goes right back to source, goes around the world and back in 80 days. So I knew, you know, there's certain things I'm just not gonna do, because the day I ever decided I was gonna take a picture of my cooter cat and put it online, the next day my pastor would have a copy, my parents and my siblings would have a copy, my nieces and nephews would have a copy, and I just wasn't interested in that kind of interaction. But I doubt that Lil Tay, given the fact that she's a Z-list celebrity, I doubt that she would have made corn content and not had it look professional. It's possible she did some amateur stuff and did it all herself. I doubt it. She probably had some help and some support putting this content out there. And I know that she did a video where she's talking about how, oh, she got inspiration from Sydney Sweeney, and she got inspiration from Sabrina Carpenter and their content. My issue is this, that both of those two people weren't making content that related to their body and really appealing to the male gaze until they were adults, like well into their adulthood. Or maybe I'm just not as familiar with them and their content. So I'm happy to be wrong. Well, I wouldn't be happy to be wrong, but I'm happy to be corrected, is what I mean. You, on the other hand, are making things as soon as you turn 18. And you're already planning this out. It's like, how did you know about OnlyFans? How did you manage to set up the account? Because as Bunny says on this quote tweet, she says, I have several issues with the subgenre of quote-unquote barely legal content, but so far I haven't seen anyone else point out that it can take several days to set up an OF account and go through the verification process. Launching minutes after 18 means this was set up well in advance. Something tells me that this was a publicity stunt. Just like how it was maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, they were talking about R.I.P. Lil Tay and how she passed on, and then she comes back, oh no, I didn't actually pass away. And then we see a picture of her another time where apparently she's in the hospital for surgery, and oh, send up prayers for Lil Tay. And then now she has an OF account, and honestly, part of me thinks this is just another publicity stunt for her to get her name out there. But the fact that she has screenshots from behind the scenes of people paying and engaging with her content really highly disturbs me. I'm going to read the rest of this thread, and then I want to read a slightly related story. Okay, so Bunny says, I know within the industry there's a lot of hard feelings on barely legal content. I sometimes try to reserve my own judgments for people trying to survive, but when you're already affluent, this is just an industry tourism stunt that only serves to bring us more stigma. Rachel says, y'all can't really read or comprehend. It says, quote unquote, shot at 12:01, not posted at 12:01. It's gross regardless, but there's a difference. Bunny says, that's not the point I'm making. If you actually read my post, I'm talking about the actual making of the account, and the verification process. It can take several days to have your account approved, meaning that it looks like it was, quote unquote, set up while she was still underage. Guardian McGordon says, oh yeah, obviously, her life though. Bunny says, that point becomes a little difficult to argue, though, when more than half of her life has been spent under the control of management. Can it really be considered a fully autonomous choice when she has a team of people managing her? Kionko Hizara says, I really feel like she wouldn't want to do this considering her past of being used for money multiple times, but here we are. Like, I have to say that I almost want her to have a conservatorship or something like that. Like, she needs to be away from her brother and her mom, because every time she's near her brother or her mom, she's doing some kind of stunt on the internet to make money. Whether she's going to the black scent, which I think is interesting that she wasn't talking with the black scent 2 or 3 years ago when she was crying on the internet about how her father and her stepmother were how do I say this without getting flagged on TikTok, were basically putting her through a lot of physical and emotional and mental stress. You know, she wasn't using a black scent then, but now all of a sudden she's back to her 9-year-old gimmick of, you poor and you this and you that, and I'm flexing on you and I'm richer than you. And I'm like, okay, so we're back to that personality. And even her crying about, Mom, I was filming. I don't know if I like her using those old clips of her sound and audio and her old mannerisms of the way she used to speak when she was a child, performing a role to promote her OF account. It's just giving PDF friendly content, PDF file friendly content. I'm not feeling it at all. I'm genuinely getting very disturbed / disgusted. There's an article I want to read. I'm wondering if I have enough time because I have 2 minutes left in this recording. You know what? I'm going to pass on reading it right now, but I'm going to read it in the next video. So I guess I'm going to stitch another one of her videos. But the fact that she continues, the fact that she continues to put herself out there and the way she wants to flex on us. Oh, I made $1 million in under 3 hours. I just think all money's not good money. You know, I'm sure there are many women on this planet who could make an OF account and make money off of it. I just feel like I want to know, like, maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, are you actually going to be comfortable with your digital footprint? Because the reality is what a lot of men do is they go on OF, they pay for content, and then they just circulate the images online so other people can get it for free. Or there are men who will pay for OF, get the content, get the materials, and then later they'll dispute it with their bank, and they end up getting refunded and you get nothing, whereas they already got your content. These things happen online. And to me, she had a video, I don't know if it's true or not, but she had a video a little earlier back where she basically said the reason she's doing OF is because she's broke and she needs the money. And to me, I'm wondering if this is a gimmick on behalf of her brother and on behalf of her mom, where the two of them are like, you know what, we are going to make money and she is our little money maker. And so we're going to make sure that we continue to pimp her out to the public, and because they seem to resonate with her, but we will do whatever we can possible and make her do whatever they can possible in order to make us some money. Like, you didn't even try college. You didn't even try acting in some small gigs here and there. Straight to OF? Like, really? I'm just sad.